All right, now that wasn't so hard. I bet you that took you about 15 minutes. So, excuse me, Jake. Anyway, let's get to work. I think this is a lot of work that we've done before. We did the two-dimensional geometry, and so this is only adding what we've done before. So I'm going to write my name. I hope you'll do this. Please don't try to do this without doing your work, Mr. Brennan. And this is 8.2 on page 364. So we're going to start with number 2. Yeah, please don't just try to throw your time away. Don't waste your time, right? Get your book out, read the questions. Don't be throwing answers on the computer. That doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of time. You're not going to learn anything. So, number 2, different words, same questions. These are a little confusing for you. I understand that. Which is different? Find both answers. Well, their answer's here. Which one's different? And then they want us to find the answer to this question, which is as hard as any question they're going to have in the book. So, what is the sum? Sum means added up of the areas of the faces of the prism. So that's this plus the bottom and plus these ends here, because the bases are faces too. Even though they made a distinction earlier, um, that does make, so they want us to add all these together. What is the area of the entire surface of the prism? Well, that's going to be the same thing. Okay, so that's not different. What is the area of the triangular faces? That's just this one and that one on the other side. So that one's different. Let's make sure this last one. What is the surface area of the prism? So that's the same as those. So the one that's different is what is the area of the triangular faces of the prism? Well, and they want us to answer both questions. So I need to find out what these areas are. Let's do the base. Let's do the base first. There's two the same. It's going to be 6 by uh, by 8. You see, this should be a little 8 over there. So I've got this triangle that's 6 by 8. So I know the triangle is 1/2 base times height. So 6 times 8 is 48. Half of 48 is the same as 3 times 8 is 24. So that's these parts, 24 plus 24. And then I've got all three other faces. I've got a 7 times 8 equals 56. And then I've got the bottom one, which is 7 times 6, which is 42. And the last one, 7 times 10 on the other side, 7 times 10 equals 70. So my good advice to you on these kind of problems, you see none of the math we did here is difficult, but make sure you write them down. That's why so many people are getting them wrong in their homework. They're just giving answers that they don't care about, so they're getting them wrong, of course. So I'm going to add all 4 of these faces. Really, this one is, oh, I did that wrong. I forgot to do this one twice. 24, right? Because there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. Well, that was close. I almost missed that one. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 6 is 14, plus 2 is 16, 3, 5, 10, 14, plus 27 is 21. 216 what? Square feet. Right, that's a pretty long one for the first problem. Usually they give us an easy one, the first problem. But the next ones get pretty much easier. I'm not going to have you draw it. I'm not going to draw it. It's not a waste of time, but since I'm not requiring of you, you're not going to require it of me. First, I'm going to, just like we did here, I'm going to find out the area of the triangular faces or bases because they're different. And that is, again, 1/2 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is, oh, I'm sorry, 3 times 4. So the triangles, and I'm going to make a little triangle on my work just to remind me what I'm doing. It's going to be 3 times 4, but then there's 2 of them. So I'm going to take a shortcut. And later I'm going to use the shortcut all the time, especially when we do prisms, rectangular prisms. 3 times 4 times 2. Sorry, 1/2, 3 times 4. Sorry, so 3 times 4 is 12. Times 1/2 equals 6. And there's 2 of those, right? This one and that one. And then I got this face right here, which is 5 times 4. 5 times 4 equals 20. And then I got this space underneath here, 3 times 5, which is 15. And then I've got this other side. It's 5 times 5. So I'm just going to do, that's the side you can't see, just like over on this one, we couldn't see it. 5 times 5 is 25. So I'm going to add that 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 10, 22, 2, 4, 6, 7, 72. What? It doesn't tell me. Find the area. It's 72 square units. I don't know how big one of these little squares is, so I'm just going to call it, a unit. Remember, we did that a lot before. Find the surface area. So again, just it doesn't matter if it's a 2-dimensional shape or 3-dimensional shape. We're just finding the area of these 2-dimensional faces and adding them all together. So number 6 is going to be on the top. I'll do the top and the bottom. That's 10 times 5. And I'm going to say, because I know there's one on the top and there's one on the bottom, they're the same. I'm going to say 10 times 5 times 2. Does that make sense to you? Good. How about these little skinny, see this little guy right here? 5 times 1, and there's 2 of those. There's one there, and there's one way over on the other side, times 2. And what am I missing? I'm missing this one. 10 times 1, this skinny part here. 10 times 1, and there's 2 of those. So I got all 6 faces, 2, 4, 6 faces. 5 times 10 is 50, times 2 is 100. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is, or times 2 is 10. 10 times 1 is 10, times 2 is 20. So that's going to be 130 square feet. It's a little confusing. Later on, we're going to talk about cubic feet, but this is only asking about the 2-dimensional, the surface area. The word area means 2-dimensional. Let's see if I can fit this all on there. I can't. Sort of can. Number 8. Same thing here. I'm gonna do the side here. 5 times 4, this one here, times 2. There's 2 of them. There's this one there, one on the other side. The bottom and the top are 2 times 4, and of course there's 2 of them. And then there's this side here. What am I what am I missing? It's 2 times 4, 5 times 4, 2 times 5. That times 2. And now I think I got everything I need. 5 times 4 is 20 times, oh, can you see this? 5 times 4 is 20, times 2 is 40. 2 times 4 is 8, times 2 is 16. 2 times 5 is 10, times 2 is 20. I'm going to add those guys together. 76 what? 76 square yards. All right. So I think in a lot of ways people want to say that rectangular prisms are easier, but I don't really think so. The only difference is when you're figuring out the area of a triangle, you have to multiply by half. Instead of just length times width, it's length times height times a half. So not so much different. You could do it. I know you can. So this one looks like we got some bigger numbers though, so maybe a little bit more difficult. But let's find out the ends, the bases first. So I've got, it's 16 by 15 And I'm going to cheat maybe right now and grab my calculator. Well, I'm going to say, I'll just do like this. I'll figure that out later. 1/2 base times height. And there's 2 of them. Okay, which means I didn't really need to divide by 2 or multiply by. And what else I got? I've got this face here that's 10 times 17. Now, am I going to multiply that by 2? No, because all the numbers are different. At least I think they are. So this is 10 by 17. That's this face. And then I've got this other face on the other side. It's also going to be 10 by 17. I was wrong. It's not necessarily, though. So I'm still not going to multiply it by 2. And the bottom is 10 by 16. Well, those are all really easy. I know that that's 160, that's 170, that's 170 again. And then what is 15 times 16? Equals 195. Divided in half times 2, so it's still 195. I'm going to add all those guys together. That's 5, 14, 20, 29, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's find out what that was. Just a little tent here. How come can you see me? I'm doing this guy. Meters squared. Again, it's not cubed because we're only talking about the surface area. So back on top here, my paper, I'm going to say I'm doing 8.2 so I don't forget. So I can find my work. It's right in my book instead of just pushing buttons on a computer. It's kind of making me crazy. Can you tell? Doing a lot of whining. A gift box in the shape of a rectangular prism measures 8 inches by 8 inches by 10 inches. What is the least amount of wrapping paper needed to wrap the gift box? Explain. So when they talk about the least amount, I forgot to write the number down. When they talk about the least amount, they're talking about like if I was going to wrap this, here's a rectangular prism. If I were going to wrap this, it would be exactly the same size as the box. So I'm going to draw a quick little picture. I'm going to say 8 by 8, 8, 8, and let's go ahead and make that 10 long. So this is 10. Okay, so those are the only numbers I need, but I need to make sure again that I got every face. So I'll do the front and the back. That's 8 times 8, and I got 2 of those. My paper's kind of squishing out. Oh, sorry. I have 2 of those. Did you not see the picture I just drew? 8 times 8, I got that, the front, and the back. Can't see it very well because it's on the other side. And then I've got this side right here, which is it's the bottom and the top, 8 times 10 times 10, and there's 2 of those. And then I've got this other side, which is also 8 times the sides, which is also 8 times 10, because remember I had 2 8s. So 8 times 8 is 16, times 2 is 32. 8 times 10 is 80, times 2 is 160. And I know that's the same, so 2, 12, 15, 352 square inches. Inches with a little tiny 2 inches squared. Okay. So let's go to the aquarium problem. Problem number 14. Just a sec. Can you see? A public library has an aquarium in the shape of a rectangular prism. The base is 6 feet. We can see that. Boy, that's a big aquarium by 2.5 feet. Oops, can't see it now. By 2.5, 6 feet by 2.5 feet, and it's 4 feet tall. How many square feet of glass were used to build the aquarium? The top of the aquarium is open, so that's a big hint too. So we're going to talk about all the faces. Let's just talk about this first face that we see here. That's going to be 6 times, that's going to be 6 times 4, and there's 2 of them, times 2. And we'll get this and here too. That's 2.5 times 4 tall, and there's 2 of those. And then the last one is the bottom. That's going to be 6 times 2.5. And that's, there's only one of them, so I'm not going to make that mistake. So 6 times 4 is 24. 24 times 2 is 48. 2.5 times 2 is 5, I know, times 4 is 20. And 6 times 25, I know, is 150. So, wait, what did I just do? It's 10. 2 is 20. 15. Oh, because there's only one of them. I see. I gotcha. I'm going to add those together. 5 plus 8 is 13. 4 is 6, 7, 8. 83 what? 83 square feet. All right, number 16. I'm not going to show you the picture, but it looks like that. You got your book. A quart of stain covers 100 square feet. How many quarts should you buy to stain the wheelchair ramp? Assume you do not have to stain the bottom of the ramp. So it's the surface area of the whole thing, except not the bottom. So let's see what I got. I got this triangle that's, make a picture of the triangle. 25 times 25. Oops. 25 times 25, and that's half of that, remember, because it's a triangle, but that's the times 2. So I'm just going to really find out 25 times 25. And then I got this 5 by 25 and a half. 5 times 25 and a half. And then there's 2 of those. No, there's only one of those because that's the top. Okay, so, and then the last thing, I have this. Oh, I don't know what this. How tall is it? They're not going to have us paint this. They don't even tell us. 25. Oh, that's 25 inches. Sorry, it's a big ramp. So I've got 5 feet. But they got to be careful. 5 feet times 25 inches. So that's pretty tricky problem right there. Throwing that at us. So let's go ahead and convert this part. I want to make this as a separate problem. 5 times 12 is 60. 60 inches times 25 inches. And if this were 24 inches, then we could say 2 feet, and we could stay in feet, but they're kind of messing with us. So the same thing is going to happen here. So I've converted this to inches. I might do the whole thing in inches and then just divide by 144 in the end. You wanna? Sure, let's do this in inches too. I'm gonna put this part down here. I could have put it right over there, but I didn't. So 5 times 12 is 60. We just talked about that. 60 times, another reason to do this in inches is because I've got this fraction. So I won't have that. I'll just say, what is 25 times 12? 25 times 12 is 300 plus 6. 306 inches. And I'm going to keep making these little tiny 11s by little tiny quotation marks because that's going to tell me for sure. And I've got this is 25 feet is 300 times 300 inches times 300 inches. Okay. And now we're set up. Now we're all in inches. And by the end, looking back at the problem, they do ask us how many, it's about square feet. So we'll convert back to square feet. So 60 times 25, I think I already did that, is 1,500, 1,500 square inches. This is the only hard one. 60 times 306 is 18,360. And then 300 is going to be 90,000. Remember, those are inches, so don't get all nervous. So 0, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Here's my, so that's how many, it's 109,000 inches squared, so square inches. Now I need to know how many square inches are in a square foot. And that, so a square foot is going to be 12 times 12, which is 144. So I'm going to divide that 109,860 divided by 144, and that's going to give me 762.9 square feet. Square. Well, what's the question? A quart of stain covers 100 square feet, and I need to cover a little more than 700 square feet, or a little less than 800. So I need to buy 8 quarts of stain. Good problem, man. Good problem. Number 18 is just what we've been playing with. Find the area of the triangle. That should be easy for guys like this because I know it's 1/2 the base times height. So I'm going to do a little cheat here. I'm going to do the 1/2. 1/2 times 8 is 4. 4 times 12 is 48 square meters. Cheating, I know. Remember, it doesn't matter what order we do it in. And this is the same thing. 3 times 10 times 1/2. Oops, can you see number 20? How come you can't see number 20? There it is. It's going to be the same thing, 10 times 3 divided by 2. Because remember, we talked about if it had this, so I accidentally drew my book a little bit, it would be a quadrilateral, it would be a parallelogram. And so because it's a parallelogram, this is half of that parallelogram. So we explained that a lot once upon a time. So it's going to be 10 times 3 divided by 2. 10 times 3 is 30. Divided by 2 is 15. Same thing if I divided 10 by 2 and then multiplied. So number 20, the answer is 15. Let's just say square inches. All right, and that's it. It took us about 25 minutes, and I goofed around a lot and talked too much. So I hope you'll enjoy the mat. See you later.